Okay, guys, so the clock is ticking. How much time do we got left before black rapper Lil Wayne apologizes for saying that the Black Lives Matter movement is a dumb fucking scam?
I am a young, black, rich. If that don't let you know that America understands black matter these days, I don't know what it is. Don't come at me with that dumb man. My life matter, especially to my.
Do you separate yourself from it?
I don't feel connected to a damn thing that ain't got nothing to do with me. If you do, you crazy as you.
So he basically said the Black Lives Matter movement is bullshit. I have nothing to do with that movement. He basically says the Black Lives Matter movement doesn't matter to me. And, it's only a matter of time. That's my question. How much longer before Lil Wayne apologizes? It was this story, Lil Wayne's coming out against the Black Lives Matter movement. It's one of the top, today for a moment it was one of the trending topics on Facebook. It's a big deal right now. And guess what? He's being attacked by other black people. It's called the crabs in the bucket phenomenon. In America, blacks have this insane tribalistic, collectivistic mentality where, although in the past white people owned black people as slaves, today black people own each other as slaves. It's called the crabs in the bucket. And if you ever try to come out of that bucket, they're going to pull you right back down and say, "You're mine." It's funny, a lot of blacks in America, the racist ones really, not all blacks, the racist tribalistic ones, they like to say things like "my people," "us," "my people" when they're talking about blacks. The term "my," that's a possessive term. It implies ownership. What do you mean, ownership? Like owning slaves?
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs. Your Twitter account
only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
So, my people, it's a tribalistic mentality. And as I've said before, tribalism destroys groups of people. Because tribalism is collectivism, and collectivism is cannibalism, all right? Collectivism is the idea that you owe me something. That guy over there, he's mine and I'm his, and we have to somehow give each other up to each other. That's basically a form of mutual cannibalism. That is the opposite of individualism, which is really what allows people to prosper and thrive. So if you want to solve the so-called systemic oppression, which by the way doesn't exist, that faces blacks in America, you're going to solve that problem by becoming individualistic and letting aside your tribalistic, pro-black, black supremacist, racist, emotional clingings and ideology. So, Chris Rock, he succumbed to black tribalism. You might remember in the 90s, he did a comedy skit where it was called Blacks versus Niggas. And he basically said that anyone who claims that they're oppressed, really, they're just not working hard enough. Really, they're just coming up with excuses for their own shitty behavior. Well, that was Chris Rock in the 90s. 10, 15 years later, he caved into black tribalism. Now he's a sympathizer with Black Lives Matter. Michael Jordan, for years, the black community in America, some aspects of the black community, trolled Michael Jordan, hated on Michael Jordan because he refused to comment on the police brutality and all the nonsense that's hyped up by the media. Well, it turns out that Michael Jordan is an empowered, strong, successful, individualistic type person who worked hard and gained success. Work hard? Oh look, cops aren't out to get me because I live in a fucking mansion behind giant gated communities in a rich, wealthy neighborhood. Of course cops aren't going to try to shoot you then. So it's the sort of victim mentality. Well, just like a month ago, Michael Jordan finally caved in to black tribalism. The other crabs got to him and they pulled him back into that tribalistic bucket and said, "You're mine, my people, I own you." And so yes, Michael Jordan actually came out after years of remaining silent. He said, "I can't keep quiet no more." Wow, really? So, you come out and you say, oh, okay, so what? You start to sympathize with the Black Lives Matter movement, which is based on basically non-existent oppression of blacks, because if you look at the crime statistics, more white people are shot and killed by cops every day, And that's considering, okay, fine, blacks only make up 13% of the population. Well, they actually commit over 50% of the murders in the country. So given that disproportion, that might explain why there seems to be so much attacks on blacks. But the truth is that you're about as likely to be struck by lightning as you are to be killed by a cop, no matter what race you are. So it literally is a fantasy that's blown out of proportion by the media. Even Will Smith, a guy that I had so much respect for. I mean, the guy's just great. He's hilarious. Countless movies, hardworking. Even he caved in to black tribalism. Even he jumped on the black racism train, coming out and saying that the Oscars are racist because nobody wanted to see his movie. Sorry, dude. I had no interest in watching your film Concussion. Maybe it's because no one watches football anymore. Okay, there's some people who watch football, but the majority of the people who watch football aren't necessarily the most high conscious people. Not all of them, but some of them. So no, I didn't watch your damn movie, and it's not because white people are racist. So it's sad that when you fail in life, if you're black in America, there is a trend where your first conclusion is, if I failed, it's because racism. And when you have that mentality does not help you move forward in life. And the fact of the matter is that there really is no systemic oppression of black people. In fact, I'd say there's the opposite. Not only is there not systemic oppression of blacks in America, there is actually an ridiculously insane effort to prop them up. And I would argue that propping them up has actually infantilized them. It's made them weak. And weak people tend to make excuses. Weak people tend to say, oh, it must be racism that's causing my shortcomings in life. And then that causes them to continue to fail more. And then they join cults like Black Lives Matter. Next thing you know, they're going on mass shootings, killing people because they hate the white man, as we saw in Dallas, as we saw with the WDBJ shooter Bryce Williams, and on and on and on. So the truth is that a mental disorder has infected the minds of blacks throughout the country. And the name of the disorder is a Black Lives Matter disorder. And that's essentially, it's a term that I coined, it's a condition that I coined, I discovered, called Black Lives Matter disorder, BLM disorder. Is basically a variant of paranoid schizophrenia where individuals who are diagnosed with BLM disorder, they see racism where none exists. They're literally having paranoid meltdowns, anxiety attacks over nothing that actually exists. Very tragic condition, but luckily I think more and more blacks are waking up, and the blacks who snap out of this mentally ill BLM disorder trance, they are the future of the black race because they're empowered, they're healthy, they're happy, they're strong, they're prosperous, and they're individualistic. They're not tribalistic racists shouting, my people, as if you own them, because my is a possessive term implying ownership of it. Owning it like slaves. Do you own other black people like slaves? You see, it's ridiculous. So props to Lil Wayne, but let's see how long he lasts before he finally says, damn, I was wrong. It turns out, guys, that, even though you're about as likely to be killed by a cop as you are to get struck by lightning, no matter what race you are, it turns out I was wrong. Black people are oppressed, and I'm sorry for what I said. I'm joining the black tribalistic bandwagon. We'll see how long it takes.
When democratic policies fail, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist. They keep saying it. It's the last refuge of the discredited Democrat politician.
Fight back against YouTube censorship by supporting me on Patreon. You'll also get access to exclusive, never-before-seen videos and other perks like monthly Google Hangouts with me, free books and t-shirts, and more.